Hello, everyone. And this forum is about the circular economy. And the circular economy is a topic that has been discussed a lot nowadays. And ReLondon is an organisation that works in this area, and it's a partnership with the Mayor's Office and the London Borough to reduce waste and ensure that London becomes increasingly a net zero carbon circular economy. And discuss that with us today, we've got Amy Casey, who likes to be known as Casey, so we'll call her Casey. So rather than me talk more about ReLondon, maybe we could start, Casey, and welcome here today, but maybe we could start by you very briefly telling us what ReLondon is and what its mission is.
Yes, of course. I think welcome everyone, and thank you for having me. I think you did a lovely intro there, Francis. So, as just said, Free London is a partnership between the Mayor of London and the 33 London boroughs, with the aim of improving waste and resource management across London and transform the city into a leading low carbon circular economy. With our mission, which is to kind of revolutionize our relationship with stuff by helping Londoners waste less and reuse, repair, share, and recycle more of their stuff.
Okay, well, that was a nice brief, introduction. I mean, in the past, we've had what's been called a linear economy, which is based upon take, make, and dispose. And that's dominated the global system really since the Industrial Revolution. But that model is proving increasingly unsustainable, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. So, as you said, a linear economy is quite a traditional model of production and consumption where resources are extracted, products are made from those materials, and then thrown away. It follows a very straight path of take, make, use, dispose, which is a system that relies heavily on large amounts of virgin materials, of water, of energy, and it often leads to environmental problems like pollution, resource depletion, and excessive waste. And 45% of damaging greenhouse gas emissions come from our consumption of stuff. So the food, materials, products that we make, use, consume, and dispose of every day. So to tackle the worst impacts of the climate emergency, we really need to reduce these consumption-based emissions, which means we need to reduce waste, increase reuse, repairing, and recycling, and improve resource efficiency.
Okay, so we really need to look for an alternative to the linear economy, which has dominated us for years. And the circular economy is a concept which is really a viable alternative. But what do you mean? I mean, you've explained it partly, but maybe you could explain it a bit more. What is the circular economy to you?
So the circular economy, the definition both at ReLondon and within all the organizations is essentially one in which stuff, so the materials and products, is kept in use for as long as possible, delivering the highest value it can for as long as it can, and moving away from our current linear economy by designing out waste and pollution. So through adopting circular business models and consumer behaviors, which includes renting rather than buying, swapping and sharing, buying secondhand, repairing. A circular economy can make a really substantial contribution to tackling the climate crisis, as I said, and the consumption of materials and resources accounts for almost half of those greenhouse gases.
I mean, so to explain it to people a bit clearer, if we can, could you give one or two examples of what the circular economy would look like?
Yeah, of course. So all of our projects are based around the circular economy. So there are lots of different activities and interventions. We quite often term them that the circular economy can take action and it can come through in various forms. So across our projects as examples, there can be surplus food redistribution. So this could be through sharing platforms such as Too Good To Go or through community cafes, which we've worked on, which enables access to cheaper or free food that would have otherwise gone to waste. or expanding the rental and sharing opportunities through platforms such as Olio or clothes swapping events or a library of things, which increases the options for renting and sharing to reduce individual ownership of an item. Library of Things actually has a really lovely, well, actually quite depressing statistic that on average a household drill is only used on average for 12 minutes in its lifetime. So why not everybody share a drill rather than own individual ones? And then it can also, another good example is improving or increasing skills for repair and maintenance. So repair cafes or sewing courses, bike maintenance courses, which can upskill citizens in repairing everyday items, but also prolong the life of an item and give it a new lease of life and helps avoid waste.
Well, I think we'll be looking at some of those later because they're quite interesting initiatives. I mean, is this
Perfect.
something that can spring from the community? And how important is it for the community to be involved in this and to engage the community so that they understand what they're doing is circular?
I mean, communities are essential to the success of a circular economy. Communities can really drive change from the ground up. They can help foster local innovation and create demand for circular alternatives. A circular economy can be supported by communities through either getting involved in local initiatives or programs, such as the repair cafes or clothes shopping events I just mentioned, by either hosting them or promoting them, volunteering at events, or simply attending. But they can also support circular businesses by choosing to buy from those who offer alternative models, such as repair services, rental options, or food and household product refill. And then they can also advocate for the circular economy or circular economy policies at a local level by participating in public consultations, attending area forums, or engaging with their local politicians.
And so, how important is it for government, and especially local government, to help set the framework for a circular economy?
Definitely. It's almost a two-pronged approach. So communities from the ground up, but local government from the top down. So they play a pivotal role in us transitioning to a circular economy due to their proximity to these communities, their control over key services, and their ability to shape local policy. So they can, through a few means and channels, they can help revitalize local economies and foster local circular businesses and green jobs through either grants or support and training programs. They have the power to facilitate collaboration between businesses and local institutes and citizens and support these initiatives, such as the repair cafes and sharing platforms. And then they also manage essential services and infrastructure which can reach and influence these communities, such as the waste and recycling systems, transport, public procurement, where they could favor circular alternatives such as leasing rather than buying. And then they also embed or can embed circular principles throughout their operations through planning, procurement, waste management, and have the ability to set targets for businesses and households. So lots of influence.
Okay, so that's pretty clear. Then finally, what can individuals do?
Individuals. So as well as obviously communities and local government, we can all make our own contribution to try and be more circular and move towards a zero waste world by wasting less and reusing, repairing, sharing, and recycling more. There are more and more circular products and services available, so seeking out those companies that provide those, we can support that wider economic shift, but we can also do some really basic things such as simply consuming less, buying less. We all tend to buy more than we need, or consuming things differently. So buying unpackaged groceries where possible to cut out single-use packaging. We can also look to buy things that will last and look after them and repair them. Renting instead of buying is an option that's available in certain products. buying secondhand, which is something I'm very keen on, and selling things on when we're finished with them. And then to also help foster that sense of community, sharing and swapping stuff in your community, whether that's in your neighborhood, on your street, is also a really lovely way to get involved.